All right, Wes, as always, we are going to end the show with a pulse check. This week, I got the high one, you got the low one. Do you want to get us kicked off?
Sure,
Go for it.
sure. So my low pick is a game that got a lot of buzz when the PlayStation 2 launched. It was put out by Square, and it was like supposed to be so revolutionary and so groundbreaking. And then it came out, and okay. Look, I enjoyed it. I imported it, and I played it, and I liked it. I bought it in America when it came out in the American release, and I still enjoyed it. A lot of people hate this game, and the game I'm talking about is the Bouncer.
I'm going to wait till you finish. Go ahead.
It's just go ahead, say your piece, because everybody trashed that game, and I don't know why. I I don't know why. It was just it was a brawler action game, and it tried to be very cinematic in its approach. The graphics were kind of were yeah, at the time they looked really good. The full motion video, the cutscenes like flowed seamlessly between
Square Enix
gameplay.
or
Yeah, it
Square.
was
It might have just been Square. I don't know if they had merged at that point, but it might have just been Square.
so you could definitely tell where that they spent money on this property.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I don't care what anybody says. I will defend the Bouncer to this day. It's got its flaws, but playing it then, now I haven't played it recently. I don't know how well it holds up,
Here's Wes trying to save himself.
but all I can remember is playing it, and I loved it. I loved every bit of it. I think I played it like 4 or 5 times because it was so good, in my opinion. Okay, see what you're gonna say. Go ahead. Go ahead.
The game was trash. I don't. Maybe the cutscenes were cool. Here at that time in my life, I didn't care about story at all. Could All I cared about at that time was gameplay. So I can almost assure you the gameplay was trash then, and
Mm-hmm.
it's god awful now. I bet you the game is next door unplayable at this point. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Here's what happened. I rented the game because I didn't have a lot of money. I was younger, right?
Mm-hmm.
Got a PS2. This is an early release. Early
It
release.
was an early release.
I only had a couple games on the PS2. I was like, this game looks cool. It's a brawler? Hell yeah. No. No. I brought Wes. I think I brought. I had it was probably like a day rental or a weekend rental or something. I
Uh-huh.
remember playing the game for a few hours and immediately going back to the store. Like, you just take it back. I don't want it. It's just I'd rather play a game that I own than to play this. Hated it.
Oh
Hated it.
man, how could you hate it? It's classified as an action RPG, but I don't remember any RPG elements in it. I just remember just a straight action game.
Yeah. If it was an action game, the action wasn't very good because I did not enjoy it. Yeah, I don't. I don't. I
Well,
don't know what else to say.
you and a lot of other people, but I was one of the few that got a lot of enjoyment out of it. So, but
I'll tell you
that's
what.
my.
I'm glad I didn't buy it.
Huh?
I'm glad I didn't buy it. I would have been furious.
I bought it twice. I bought it twice. I bought it in because I had a Japanese PS2, so I bought it when it came out in Japan, and surprisingly, it was all in English. But then I wound up buying it again for the American release because I had an American PS2. So, like I said, I bought it twice. I I enjoyed it, and I enjoyed it so much. I'm telling everybody else to go spend the $25 complete in box to play it as well because it's cheap. It's very cheap. It's a loose CD is $14. Like I said, complete in box, you're looking at about $25. But surprisingly, a sealed copy is $180. I mean, that's a huge, huge leap from a complete in box to sealed.
Hmm. I mean that is a large leap. That's kind of interesting. I'm wondering. I'm assuming that the print run was probably low on this because it was early PS2, right? They're not going to make you know a ton of these because there's not a ton of PS2s in people's houses at this point. It's not like obviously PS2 would become the best selling console of all time, obviously, but at this time it wasn't. It was popular, but it wasn't everywhere. So the print run might have been low, which kept the sealed copies high.
Mhm.
I'm assuming most people who bought it did play it, unfortunately, and all I can tell you is a loose copy is $14. I can tell you a lot of better things you can do with $14, ladies and gentlemen. A lot, let alone the 180 for a sealed one.
I don't know, man. You're making me want to go back and revisit this game because I'm like, it can't be that bad. I remember playing the heck out of it multiple times. It's
I
short.
mean,
It's really short. I think it's like 4 hours long tops.
you couldn't pay me to play this game just because I know how much. I couldn't tell you specifics as to what I hated about it. I was again, I'm very confident it was gameplay because at that time in my life, that was mostly what I cared about. I just probably hated the way the game played. Um, but yeah, I mean, everybody has their own thing. If you guys love the bouncer, I'm happy for you. That's not my shit. I can't. I don't mess with that. Mm.
Well, I'm gonna go back and play it. I now I'm really curious to see if it holds up and if it's as good as I remember it. And I'm gonna leave a comment. I'll leave a comment in the comment section and let you guys know.
Tell us in the next episode. If you play it, I want you to bring it up. We'll talk about it
Uh,
in the next episode if you play it.
I'll definitely bring it up. So I'll definitely play it. I'll pull my PS2 out and I will definitely play it.
Sounds like a plan.
So that was my low pick. You had the high pick this time. What did you pick?
So I was trying to just pick. I like to pick different things all the time, right? Different systems, whatever we talk about. And I have yet on the high end or the low end, actually, I have yet to pick a TurboGrafx 16 game. So I did pick one this month. There was a few options I had. This is a higher priced one, but it's not certainly not the highest priced one. This is Bonk 3, Bonk's Big Adventure. This isn't a game I have, but I do have the means of playing TurboGrafx 16s for the first time. And like I just got my analog God, what do they
Duo.
call it? Duo, thank you. So I could play this game if I wanted to. Um, and I'm going to be looking for some turbo games when I go to that convention. But Bonk 3 is one that I would want to get because Bonk's a very good platformer. I played
It
the
is.
first one. I don't think that I played this one. I think I played the first and the second one. But I'm almost positive I never played Bonk 3. Have you played Bonk 3?
I I did not. I have Bonk 1 and 2 and Air Zonk.
Hmm. Okay.
Um, but I never played Bonk 3.
Well, if you want to buy it now, it's going to cost you a little bit. Loose copy, $379. Complete in box, $650. If you want to get a sealed one because you're crazy, $1,300 is a sealed copy of Bonk
Wow.
3.
Wow. TurboGrafx in general, some of the games are pretty pricey.
Yeah, quite a few of them. It's kind of in the same tier as Saturn. The games were that system was just not as popular, right? Saturn wasn't that popular.
Hmm.
TurboGrafx wasn't that popular. So the games in general just a lot of them were more expensive. Not all of them. Obviously, there's cheap TurboGrafx games. Like the
Hmm.
first Bonk is probably not very expensive at all. Um, Keith Courage is probably
Oh,
$10.
Keith. Yeah,
Like
Keith Courage, because that I think that came with every system. So
right,
there's tons of Keith Courages around.
right. So I mean, you could find some cheaper ones on pretty much any system, but TurboGrafx in general are probably more expensive, right?
Yeah,
Um,
and it's just a little the card.
yeah, the loose one is the Hue card. They do have with a case though. The other ones come in some sort of like it's like a CD case, isn't it? And then the Hue card's
Hmm.
inside of there.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. So check out Bonk 3. From my understanding, it's supposed to be a good game, but it is going to set you back quite a bit if you're trying to find it over there on the good old TurboGrafx 16. And I will note there is a TurboGrafx CD version, which basically is twice as expensive, complete in box or sealed. So have fun with that if you want to get the CD version.
Wow. I can only imagine.
Yeah, that's not happening. All right, guys, thank you for watching this episode of the Nerd Enthusiast Gaming Podcast. I appreciate you guys' time and hope you enjoyed the show. With me, as always, was my good friend Wes. Wes, where can people find you?
You can follow me on Instagram at Grendel5XBX, and you can catch me at Level Up Entertainment at the Hamilton Mall in Mays Landing, New Jersey. If you're ever in the area, stop by. Let's talk video games, comic books. I'm always there.
I'm Matt. You guys can follow me over on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, at FromNJ2CA. The 2 is the number 2. Make sure you guys follow the company at Nerd Enthusiast on all social media platforms. Ring the bell on YouTube so you guys can get updates on when our videos go live. Make sure you're following us there and subscribing. And if you liked what you heard today, please consider supporting us over on Patreon. It truly, truly helps us out. Patreon.com/nerdenthusiast. I want to give a special shout out this month to Bernardo for your support over on Patreon. Thank you, Bernardo, very much.
Thanks, Bernardo. Appreciate you.
All right, guys. So we hope you enjoyed the show. Look forward to the next one. Until next time, you guys take care.
Have a good one.